some reason, there's been this misconception put out on the street that I would be a good baby mama. This is incorrect. I want to clear the air on that. I'd be a terrible baby mama. I've talked about this before, but if you don't know this about me, I do not want to have children. I love kids. I love having a massive family. I love being able to be an aunt. I fully understand people wanting to have children. What I do not understand is these men with these breeding kinks who will come to me and say, how are you gonna let those genes go to waste? Or if you don't have kids, who's gonna take care of you when you're older? Or I really wanna have a son so that I can carry on my legacy. All of these things are very weird statements to me. What would be a rational statement to me is I would like to find a wife, build a home together, and then have a child. That is a statement that makes sense to me. Still not something I'm participating in, but at least I can respect the approach. But that's not the conversation that we're having. The conversation we're having is, oh, I want to have a baby with you. I think that for these men, in their mind, it's just an appealing thing to make a baby. And it would be my responsibility or the woman's responsibility. We have to free ourselves of this idea that it is somehow more of a commitment to get married than it is to make a child. No matter what you do in your life, you will be a parent if you make a child. If you choose to get divorced, you don't have a wife anymore. How is that more committal? I think it's a wonderful, amazing, normal thing to want to have a child. I also think it's completely normal not to want to have a child. And we should be able to have those conversations without introducing some weird kink about finding someone with the right genes to make a baby with. Please stop saying that to people.
So Joy Taylor says she doesn't kind of want to be a mother. She doesn't want to have kids. And, she said it's weird that men, say they want to continue their legacy. And that's a men thing. That's not a woman thing. That's why, you have juniors and the seconds and thirds. You don't have females that's juniors and seconds and thirds. And she said, it's weird that guys come up to her and say, I want you to have my baby and all that. And she's a weirdo. I think she might be a mulatto. A lot of times when you start talking to mulatto people, man, they weird. They some weird people, to be honest with you. And I can see why a lot of black women, place mulatto people, try to place them as the category as not black. You know what I'm saying? But that's another story for another day. But her brother was cool, dope player, Jason Taylor. But yeah, it's no reason to commit to a woman who don't want to have children. Even if you don't want to have children in your prime, that's the point of marriage, is to build a legacy, and leave a legacy where your child or your children can build on top of that legacy. If she don't want to be a mother, there ain't no point in getting married. Real talk. There ain't no point in getting married. It's no point even really a long-term commitment. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, for what? Why are we doing this? If we get old and then we want to, do a partnership, if we rock out when we get older, yeah, that's different. But a woman who don't want to reproduce, like, it's no point to showing her a commitment. There is no point. It's no point in just building long term with her, like, have your fun and keep it moving. You shouldn't even get married without the thought of having children. It doesn't make sense. You do it for the children. You do it for the nuclear family structure. And if that's not what neither one of y'all want, why get married? Honestly, why get married? Why not just keep it the way it is? See, marriage for women is like, they want they want the financial security, and they want to steal your finances, extract your finances, and run off with them, and they not gonna last long. They're gonna run out of them. But yeah, you can tell she don't have a mothering ability. It's where you hear this whole thing of a rich auntie from a bunch of selfish women who don't want to have children. That's it. And a lot of times why they don't have children is always for selfish reasons. I get it. You see, children, other children, and, I get like, I want to be a baby mama, or I don't want my children to grow up like this, that, and the third. Like, I get it. In a crazy world, I get it. But a lot of times there's other selfish reasons, because I want to have my freedom and, and stuff of that nature, and I want to have my money. And what they say, I don't want to be a mother. Selfishness is closer to Satanism as anything. It's demonic. And everything is about self. How can you be with a woman that's just about herself? Think about it. You're just gonna be miserable. Don't think about nobody else. It's a lot of those women who have children and don't care about the children and care about themselves. They do things and don't even think about their children. They too worried about going out, doing what they want to do, and they not looking at what's going on with their children. They just so, they don't care so much. I couldn't find a word in my mind. They don't care so much that they procreate with the worst type of dudes. They procreate with the worst type of dudes. So, but yeah, and that's her choice. That's her choice. And that's why Errol Watson didn't marry her. She don't have any mothering qualities. You fucking with Joy Taylor, really, you fucking with a nigga. That's a man. And when she opened her mouth, she just sounds stupider and stupider and stupider. They said she got a BBL and shit. Already mental illness. Go ahead and build on top of the mental illness that's already there. That don't surprise me none. But yeah, a woman that don't want to have children, bro, like, especially when you're young, it's a no-go. You don't especially commit to marrying them women. You don't do it. Feminists, man haters, no, you don't do it. But them being the main ones that take pipe and beg for pipe and love pipe. You know what I'm saying? They be the main ones. If y'all knew, if they can pull the wool from people's eyes with feminists, man, even the ones that claim to be on the rainbow gang side, they taking so many fucking ballpark pranks to the face and to the cooch. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Believe in what you believe in, man. Don't even if you get into a conversation about that feminist shit about that, man, believe in what you believe in. They respect it, bro. They don't respect the motherfucker that agree with them. All them dudes like Roland Martin that agree with them. All them what's the brother name? Michael Eric Dyson's. All them sassy ass ninjas. Them old feminine mad ninjas and men like that. What did Roland Martin wear that shirt? Vote like a black woman. They not lining up to let Roland clap them cheeks. You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. And believe it or not, most women are insufferable, especially big, good-looking, great-looking women are insufferable like Joy Taylor. They are. Very insufferable. But women like that, no, don't commit to them like through a marriage. Them the type of bitches you cheat on. I'm saying you should, but them like, nah, like, bitch, you stupid. And them the type of women that ain't built for long-term relationships. They don't see themselves cooking, they don't see themselves cleaning, they don't see themselves being nurturing, they don't have a feminine touch. It's just a man with a vagina. I'm telling y'all what it is. It's a man with a vagina. And they be wondering why don't no man stay. They wonder why. Why would you? That's $1 million question. Why would you? What draws us to women other than attraction is their ability to be a woman, to be her, the femininity, the their healing ability, their loving ability, their softness, physical, and just they softness as a woman, man. You know, you mess with a lot of these professional bitches. It's just an exchange. You just want to deal with them and keep it moving. But at some point, she ain't gonna never admit it, but at some point she gonna start talking about in her head, she want a family. At some point she gonna talk about she want a family. I already know in her head, I already know how this go. But hey, hit the link in the description, join the Patreon. Appreciate the love, support. Peace.